Well, hey! How are we doing? I'm not as tired as I thought I was going to be. I'm still tired though. And I'm going to try and keep this brief because I don't want to sit down for too long, because that's one of these lessons actually. If you sit down too long, you seize up. Anyway. How are we doing? Right. So I'm going to do this week's videos. I'm going to do 5 videos, each with a lesson of what I learned over the weekend, because well, if you don't know, I did the Cotswolds Way from Cheltenham back to Bath, which was supposed to be 60 miles. It took me 30 hours. I think it was more. I don't know how far it was because I had a few detours and stuff like that. But 18 miles into it, I saw a sign for 55 miles to Bath. So I think it was more like 70 miles, possibly 72. Took me 30 hours at 2.5 miles an hour. That's 72 miles. So I think it was probably that continuous walking, which is hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. Hardest thing I've ever done. And it was a massive eye-opener. So, but I feel okay today. I've got my feet, I've got 2 blisters. That's it. 1 on each foot. And that is it. My feet are a bit tender. Everything else is fine. This is what I wanted to prove about all the movement stuff I've been doing and all that. Hips, knees, ankles, shoulders, head. Well, maybe my head's not fine, but everything feels great. Hello, Simon. How are you doing? Everything feels great. I don't feel I missed a night's kit and all that, and I feel fine. I feel absolutely fine. So, lesson number 1 anyway. Big problems, right? So, this comes from when I talk to guys who come down to BKS, and I see it all the time, and it used to happen to me. When you're tired, everything becomes a bigger problem. Even the little ones, okay? And this is when, and I don't mean the little ones as in kids. I mean the little ones as in little problems. However, kids getting on your nerves when you're tired is probably going to blow you up as well. That's a different thing. So, big problems. So 15 hours into this walk, it was midnight, and the temperature started to drop. So I was getting a bit cold, so I had to take my pack off, and then open it up, like undo the clasp and undo the Velcro, and then I had like a rain jacket. I took a load of stuff, I took a top to keep me warm, but it was in a waterproof thing that it was at the bottom of the bag, and I'd have to take everything out. So I just thought, it's not that cold, however my arms are a bit cold, so I'll just put my rain jacket on. So I put my rain jacket on, got my bag back on, put it on, wandered round the next corner with my head torch on so I could only see a couple of feet in front of me. Massive hill, right? This thing was huge. So I was like, right, walking straight up it. Within about 3 minutes, I was sweating and I was roasting. So it was like, right. And I got really pissed off. I was like, for fuck's sake, I've just put my jacket on. I've just got myself all sorted. I've just got myself back in the rhythm. And now I've got to stop again, take my backpack off, get my jacket off. But I couldn't be bothered to roll it because I thought, well, by the time I get to the top of this, I'm gonna need to put it back on again because I'll have been hot and sweaty, and then I'll cool down. I'll probably get even colder, and it's an hour later, so the temperature will have dropped more. So instead of putting it in my bag, I just took it off, put my backpack back on, and I was like, so I rolled my jacket up and just carried it in my hand. But that was doing me head in as well because I was tired and I wanted to go to sleep. My body just wanted me to go to sleep. Okay, and this is what happens when you get tired. But like I realised, I have to keep going. There's no alternative. I just have to keep going. However, at the first point that I get, I'm going to rest, which it wasn't until later on, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm mainly resting today. I feel fine. However, if I don't rest, I'll just be tired tomorrow or the next day. It will catch me up. Thank you, Simon. Thank you. I'm loving it as well. When I do things like this is another lesson from this. When I do things like this and doing these videos and all that feeds back into me to do it more. So it just keeps going and going and going. It's brilliant. So it's like counting the wins and all of that sort of stuff. I know you've been looking at this stuff with the mindfulness stuff and all that, just from seeing your Facebook stuff. But what was I saying? Yeah. So the small problems become bigger, and this used to happen to me all the time with work. So I had a stressful job. And I used to just get pissed off with people. This is when I said I used to bang me head on the desk at work and stuff like that. I literally used to do that. You know, people who... Thank you, Simon. I would do them more, but I think I'd probably... Not that I'm bothered about pissing people off, but it would probably just get in people's faces a bit too much. So one a day is good enough, isn't it? However, yeah, so small problems become bigger, don't they? Think about it. When you're tired, everything becomes an issue. Everything becomes an issue. You know, just stupid things that you have to do. I'm tired now, so I'm trying to think of some examples, but you get my drift, right? You get my drift. You just like, I don't know, stupid things like doing the shopping or taking the car for a wash or whatever, anything. It's just stupid little things like that. If you're tired, it gets exacerbated. And then what happens is after you've rested or you don't feel tired anymore or you finally get that good night's kip or whatever, you realise, God, I was a bit of a dick the other day, wasn't I? Because I was in a mood and all of that, and it was basically just because I was tired. And then there's other times when you'll feel like that. You'll feel like you're being an idiot, but you can't work out why. You can't work out why, because you're like, I should feel fine. And if you don't, it's like, well, I'm just tired. You've just got to rest. It's the way to go. Yeah. Nice one, Simon. Thanks for that. Yeah, other little things like that. Some things that just play in your head. So if Simon's saying he's got a shoulder injury, and I know Simon likes to keep fit and healthy and all of that, and he's got a shoulder injury, so it's debilitating, right? And it plays on your mind. It gets you thinking like, oh, I want to do stuff. So that's other stuff. It's not just tiredness. It's just little things that take up mental energy. So that's a physical thing that'll take up mental energy because you can't do what you want. So therefore, it just annoys. But then you'll end up taking that out on somebody or something. You know, this is what happens. So that was one of the big things for me. Just a stupid thing of like, and even right. So I'm tired. I need food to keep going, but in order to eat, I have to take my backpack off and unzip the front to get. I had like Trek bars and naked bars and all of this sort of stuff, and I had some like some sandwiches and things like that for when I wanted a meal, but. Yeah, just the act of taking my backpack off, opening the front, taking a Trek bar, putting my backpack back on, opening the Trek bar. It was like, that was just it became a thing, an issue. I was just like, oh God, do I have to do this again? But then I thought, well, if I don't do that, I'm going to get tired and I'm going to run out of energy and all of that. And it was just like, I feel like I'm running out of energy doing this now. No gym for a whole week. The thing is though, you also know if you ignore it and just carry on doing things, again, with like with tiredness as well, if you ignore it and carry on, the likelihood is that you'll get more tired. So with this, if you ignore it and carry on, it'll get worse and last longer. So at least you've nipped it in the bud, which is always the thing to do. Always the thing to do. So that's the thing, when you're tired, just rest. Or, you can, if you've got like certain things that you need to do, you carry on, and then when you get the first opportunity, you rest. Which is exactly what I did yesterday when I got home. So it took me hours. I thought it was going to take me 24 hours at the most, right? I didn't plan on getting lost in the dark. And I didn't plan on the fact that it was probably longer than I thought anyway. So, it was an extra 6 hours on top of what I thought it was going to be. So the first thing I did, and then when I got home, I'd arranged to meet one of my mates in the pub like an hour and a half after I got back. So hello Tom! Tom Jones, not that one. Hope you're enjoying the new programme, my lad. But when I got back, first thing I did, I was sweaty, I was horrible, I stank, so I couldn't go to bed. So I just got a pillow off my bed, put it on the floor, and just went to sleep on the floor. That was the first thing. That was my first opportunity to have rest. I was going to meet my mate in the pub, and I was like, I can not go to sleep and go and meet him, but I'll be a mess. And all I needed was just rest. An hour's rest after 30 hours of continuous walking, no sleep. An hour's rest, and I felt fine again. So I went to meet my mate in the pub, and he was like, you look all right. And I was like, yeah, I feel all right. He was like, I'm really surprised at how kind of compass mentis you are. And I felt absolutely fine. I didn't feel drained because I'd had that hour's sleep. And then, we had a few beers and everything, and then I had a full night's kit last night. And it doesn't feel like I've skipped a beat. So, yeah. At the earliest, if you feel tired, if you're getting ratty, if you're shouting at the kids and getting annoyed with the missus and all of these sorts of things, just getting annoyed with stupid little things, you know it as well when you're doing it. This is the thing I used to do. You know it when you're doing it. But you still do it anyway. You still do it. You'll get annoyed with someone, or you'll start banging things, or, That's another thing that I used to do as well. My dad used to do this, bang pans and pots and stuff like that, and be like, "You annoyed?" "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." And it'd be like, you are. Everyone else knows you are. So just face up to it. And it's probably, if you're tired, rest. It's the way to do it. So that's what I'm doing today. I've got 4 sessions to deliver today. It's one of my busiest days. Which won't, to other trainers, that doesn't sound like a lot, but I do group stuff. So, but 4 sessions. So that's getting the bells out, taking them up to the park, getting them back again, walking up and down the steps to my flat, carrying these weights and all that sort of stuff, which was very tricky at 7 o'clock this morning. However, the more I've been moving throughout the day, the better I feel. But the next session's at 6 o'clock. I'm going to use this afternoon to rest, and then tomorrow I'll be productive again. So I won't have a week of doing nothing. I'll have 1 day of resting while still doing work, and I'm breaking a new guy in tonight as well, who starts tonight. So, once I've got all that going, I'll be rested this afternoon, then from tomorrow I'm sorted. So, if you get tired, you make the little problems become bigger problems, which causes more stress, which will just make you, it just causes more stress that isn't needed. People, we're stressed enough. We're stressed enough with actual problems, but I mean, people turn little problems into actual problems, Very few people actually really have problems, in my opinion. So, No worries. That's what it's all about, Simon. This is why I do this. I don't necessarily get much feedback on it, but hearing things like that is like, right, it makes it worthwhile. It makes it worthwhile because it works. It works. I know it works because I do all this. I put all this together for myself. I'm actually talking to myself when I do these, and this is why I do these challenges and stuff like that, because you learn an absolute load from doing it. Unless you put yourself, I'm not going to say out of your comfort zone and all that, because yesterday was uncomfortable, but it was just it just challenges me to say I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to learn a lot from it. And you hear people talk about this sort of stuff, and then actually, if you don't get it, if you've never done something like that, you don't really get it. You're like, I can see what you mean. I can see it. We were talking about this with Paul this morning. Yeah, power of rest. That's the way to go. That's the way to go. What do athletes and stuff do? The work. I've just been reminded of this because Patty's come on, and she's Finn's mum, and Finn's like a world champion kettlebell sport guy who's just won another gold. But what do athletes do? They maintain themselves, and then they ramp it up to peak for a performance, and then the rest afterwards. They'll keep going, but the rest afterwards, because you need it. They don't go into the next competition you'll just be knackered. So you need rest. So yeah, Simon, I'm glad about that. That's good. That coming from you as well, because I know you. Thank you very much. So. There you go. Now I'm going to be practicing what I preach. Not that it's preaching, but you know what I mean. It's just talking bollocks to a phone. But I'm going to practice it by going and having a rest now. Do some meditation. So what I do is just shut my eyes. Shutting your eyes and counting your breaths is one of the ways to do it. And when I say this to people, I'm just going to go and zone out for a bit. They're like, "You're going for an afternoon kip, aren't you?" And it's like, well, technically yes. However, that creates a lot of time. In my life, anyway. So when I do that, if I do that for half an hour, it makes I become much more productive afterwards. Tom, I will. I don't know. I was gonna maybe do it in April or something next year, is like for charity with you guys, with some of you guys. But it'll have to be a bit better organised because it wasn't 100k, it was more than that. It was supposed to be 60 miles. I reckon it was more like 72, so I'll work it out. But yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, my man. So yesterday I was like, right, I'm never doing that ever again because it was the hardest thing I've ever done. But today, the way I feel now, I'm like, actually, if I feel like this after the way I felt yesterday when I finished, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah. Paul's on as well. How's it going, Paul? Have you finished the programme yet? You said you were like 10 days behind. I hope you have. Hope you enjoyed it. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I know you have because of the post you put up the other day. Right, I'm going to do one. This has gone on a while now. So, Simon, thank you for your feedback. That's great. Nice to see you on here, Tom. Nice to see you on here, Patty, as well. Well done to Finn for the weekend. And I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, lesson number 2. Last day today. Good man. I like to hear it. So, number 2. Yes, it's about keeping calm in a situation, like not losing your shit so you do the right thing. Craig's on as well. God, I'm doing all right here, aren't I? But yeah, tomorrow's one is about not losing your shit and keeping calm so you don't make stupid decisions. Right then. Thank you, Simon. Oh, also, one last thing. I am running, beginning on the 1st of September, a swing challenge, a month. I've done this before. I did it in May, and there was people from all over the world in there. I've got a private group on Facebook, and what I was doing was coaching people every day in there as a group. So a 30-day swing challenge would be this time, starting on the 1st of September, finishing on the 30th, basically doing swings every day. I've got a swing manual that I've put together to teach you the kettlebell swing, and it's very clear. If it's not clear, and you go into you'll be in the group anyway, so you can ask me any questions. You can put videos in there, and I'll critique them for you every day. There is a little bit of noddy nutrition advice, nothing groundbreaking. It's dead super simple. There's people in there who did the May one, so you can ask them questions as well and stuff like that. Like I say, there was people from all over the world doing it, and I'm going to try and get as many people in as possible. So I'm going to post a link in here that's got more information of how to get in. It's dead super simple. You just put your email address in, you'll get the booklet. That'll teach you how to do it. There's loads of workouts at the end as well, so it's not just doing swings every day, it's doing them in certain formats. That'll make it easier. So if I said to you now, some people, like Claire was like this, she did it, she now comes to BKS. If I said to her, just do 300 swings, she'd be like, I can't do that. However, in the structure it is in the book, in the programs that are in there, it makes it not easy, but it makes it doable. And she loves doing that now. And she's away on holiday at the minute, and she's taking a bell with her because she was like, I'm going to do the swing squat ladder, swing breath ladder, and all of this sort of stuff. So it teaches you how to use your rest periods to make your work periods better. See? So, I nearly forgot about that. So I'll post the link in here now, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.